A lot of times when premium vehicles are reviewed for games such as World of Tanks, World of Warships or World of Warplanes, a lot is said about whether the vehicle in question is either overpowered, underpowered, needs buffs, nerfs, or is in any way gimmicky. In this case, I feel like the ship in question I'm reviewing here is simply comfortable. It is neither underpowered nor is it overpowered. I don't feel it needs any buffs or needs any nerfs, and nor do I think it is based upon one gimmick to make it entirely effective. The ship in question is of course the German Tier VIII premium cruiser, the Prinz Eugen, essentially a clone of the tech tree Tier VIII German cruiser, the Admiral Hipper, but with the added benefits of being a premium vessel, and therefore one that Wargaming has put on sale on the premium shop. I personally feel like this is one of the best, if not the best, premium cruiser at Tier VIII available. I will say this simply because I feel like it is the most friendly vessel you could be in terms of neither being too punishing if you make a mistake, nor too rewarding if you play well. I don't feel like it panders to your ability. I don't feel like it makes itself ridiculously overpowered for the sake of giving everybody who tries it an easy win and some easy credits and some easy experience. You do have to work for your gameplay and your performance and your scores in this ship, but it will reward you if you manage to work the vessel out, work out how to play it, and play it well. To give a brief rundown of the stats, it has 45,000 hit points, armour of 16 to 160mm, torpedo damage reduction of 10%. Its main battery consists of 4 twin-barreled 203mm guns, and its secondary battery consists of 6 twin-barreled 105mm guns, which also make up the long-range anti-aircraft defences of the vessel. The main battery firing range is 17.5 kilometres, the main battery guns reload in 13 seconds, and they have a 180-degree turn time of 22.5 seconds, and a maximum dispersion at their maximum range of 143 metres. Unfortunately, these guns, with them being German guns on a German vessel, have rather poor HE performance, which is a shame because the HE is a shell that you will be firing quite a lot, unless you are presented with near perfect broadside shots on cruisers or battleships, and of course HE shells are the only choice when being fired against destroyers 9 times out of 10. If you are being presented an angled target by even light cruisers, but especially with heavy cruisers and battleships, your armour piercing is not going to penetrate them and you will be forced to use HE. However, there is one added bonus with these guns in that the HE and AP velocity is exactly the same at 925 metres a second, meaning that you don't have to adjust your lead every time you change shell type, which you will be doing often if you intend to get the most out of this vessel. It also comes with torpedoes. It has 4 triple-barreled 533mm torpedo tubes, 2 mounted on each side of the vessel. The torpedoes have a maximum range of 6 kilometres and travel at a speed of 64 knots, and they are detected on the surface from 1.3 kilometres away. They reload in 68 seconds and turn 180 degrees in 6 seconds. Now, these torpedoes will be quite familiar to you if you've used ships like the Tirpitz before, as they are, I believe, the exact same torpedoes that can be found on the Tirpitz. As a result, they are very close range, but they can certainly be used, as you can get yourself in situations where the torpedoes will be in range, either by closing to a target or using islands for concealment and ambushing a target as it comes around an island. And these will helpfully pad the damage that you can get in a game if you have the opportunity to use them. The air defence for this ship is mainly of the personal defence variety, as the majority of the anti-aircraft guns are 20mm or 40mm calibers, therefore mainly used for personal defence, with the only escort guns being the 105mm guns that I mentioned earlier as part of the secondary battery, which have the range to go and cover other ships that you might be escorting nearby. Of course, this can be improved by using skills such as AFT and BFT, and of course the upgrades as well to enhance the range of your AA guns if you wish to specify the ship more towards an anti-aircraft escort role than a heavy cruiser gunship role. Its movability, at maximum speed of 32 knots, a turning circle radius of 770 metres, which is considerable but not too bad considering this is, after all, a heavy cruiser, and with the rudder shift upgrade it can get its rudder shift time down to 8.7 seconds, whilst still leaving the final slot open for the concealment upgrade. Onto concealment, with the concealment upgrade active but no concealment expert on the captain, its detectability range by sea is 13 kilometres and by air of 6.7 kilometres. And its detectability after firing main guns in smoke is 9.1 kilometres. Overall, I feel like this ship is perfectly described as being comfortable. It's one of the vessels that I've severely enjoyed playing and I'm glad to have owned, as I purchased this very shortly after it was originally released and haven't regretted the choice since. There's a lot of times where I'm playing this game and this ship in particular, where I will be taking aim at a target, and I'll take a rough estimate as to where I think the shots need to be fired in order to lead the target appropriately, and 9 times out of 10 those shells will be on target thanks to the acceptable both turret traverse of the guns and also the acceptable shell velocity. And also the arc is reasonably shallow, so they don't have a lot of hang time in the air either. So this ship is certainly not what I would call the most forgiving, as you can and will take citadels in this vessel if you show broadside to enough things. Also, with the guns being inconsistent in terms of their AP performance, you'll have to change shell types quite a lot, as per the target you're firing at the angle that they're showing you. However, with the right skills, such as knowing what ammo type to use, knowing when to tank bow in, knowing when to give a bit of a side angle, and knowing when it's safe to show broadside, along with being able to try and use torpedoes effectively in combat, I feel like this ship is one of the best premium cruisers out there, and I would certainly recommend it for anybody who's looking for either a credit grinder for Tier 8 or as a cruiser to train German cruiser captains in. And I would recommend this ship even over the Graf Spee, as I feel like it is slightly more forgiving in that regard, despite the Graf Spee being at Tier 6 and having what you might consider easier matchmaking. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this brief review, and I hope you enjoyed the gameplay that's on the screen. I hope that shows you exactly what I mean about this ship being comfortable. I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.
Wir haben einen gegnerischen Kreuzer versenkt. Kreuzer gesunken.
Unser Team hat die Führung übernommen.
Gegnerisches Schlachtschiff gesunken. Gegnerisches Schlachtschiff gesunken.
Unser Sieg ist in Sicht.